So if you have seen this already, I do apologise, but to be honest, I think this is just too good not to cover. As you have probably already seen, the Speaker of the House, Lindsay Hoyle, became absolutely furious. This is the most angry I think we've seen him in quite some time. And there is a reason for that. There is an absolute legitimate reason why he is so angry. It is because time and time again, we have seen this government break the rules consistently in the House. And why? I think they're just trying to see if they can get away with it. And I think that's part of it. Because you see, certainly in America, Republicans break the rules all the time. Democrats don't go after them for it because they don't have like this like the referee, I suppose, that Lindsay Hoyle's and this as in his sort of speaker position sort of really is. So as a result, the Republicans just get away with it time and time again, and it is part of probably the big problem in the sort of American political system, that there is sort of this no referee, that they sort of get to police themselves, and that does create lots of problems. But we have seen, certainly in the UK, since this government came to power under Boris Johnson, have continuously tried to break the rules that govern Parliament again and again and again. And of course, it's Lindsay Hoyle's job to be the referee, to make sure if someone does break the rules, that they are admonished for breaking the rules, and that it is known to break the rules, and even to apologize if they have broken the rules, because the Speaker does have a lot of powers that he can sort of bring to bear if they do keep on doing this. Now, we already reported the fact that at this session, the Conservatives were absolutely incandescent with rage, and this rage still continues to go on. They have not shied away or backing down from absolutely attacking Kemi Badenoch. And remember, just a couple of weeks ago, we already reported the fact that a lot of Conservatives do consider her to be very, very much a failure of a business and trade secretary. Even though in the Conservative Home polls she's like second, of course, Ben Wallace still incredibly popular. But if she wanted any, if she wanted any sort of support from this side of the House in a potential upcoming future leadership race, or any of that right-wing Tory support in a potential, member vote, well, she just lost it. So she's going to have to start asking Penny Mordaunt to have sword carrying lessons, because there is no way this doesn't, I think, affect her leadership chances. We'll see what happens next time they do a vote in Conservative Home. Who do you think's your most popular? We'll see how much this affects her or not. But she did not make any friends. She did not make any friends on the Conservative side of her benches. And I've said it's very likely, possibly in the next couple of weeks or so, we could see a cabinet reshuffle as Rishi Sunak tries to sort of calm the rest of the Conservative Party by bringing in sort of fresh new talent. I'm having a refresh, as often the phrase is used. Kemi Badenoch could very well be one of those people that's, well, seen as a failure and just moved on. Potentially also Suella Braverman, also seen as a failure. Like I say, there's certainly her and Kemi and Suella could both be very easily moved on with not too much fuss, because in the Conservative Parliamentary Party, they are seen as very much failures in their position. So let's go on and watch this, because this is beautiful to watch. We're just going to watch it because it is absolutely beautiful.
Again, the urgent question. I know that it is highly regrettable that the government decided not to offer an oral statement on this matter yesterday. Given the importance of this announcement, on such matters, full engagement with Parliament and its committees is essential. Before I call the chair, I will remind the government we are elected to hear it first, not to read it in the Telegraph, and certainly not a WMS is satisfactory on such an important matter. Hence, that I would always say, I'm now going to call the chair of the European Scrutiny Committee to ask the urgent question. Sir William Cash.
So he was already pretty angry. Just so you know, obviously in Parliament, you know, the ministers are expected to deliver potentially any news that regarding any change to policy or anything like that. They are always said you have to go to Parliament first. But of course, that's not what happened. This story that Badenoch was doing the U-turn broke the following night, and it was in the press in the morning. So Parliament was not informed, and there's this sense that we have seen from certainly the people on the front benches in the Conservative Party, at least the current Conservative Party, that they seem to think they are ruled and run by referendum, but they're not. They are not at all. This is not a government that is run by referendum. We are a parliamentary democracy, and as a result, you cannot just sideline Parliament about any big decision. It must always go. The first announcement must always go to Parliament first. Otherwise, you get that. And to be honest, this is something that continuously happens again and again and again that we have seen. So Lindsay Hoyle, once again, rightly furious and angry that this keeps on happening. But it's about to get worse because Kemi Badenoch is about to backtalk him. And oh boy.
Mr. Speaker, will the Secretary of State make a statement regarding the question of her failure to come to the House before she made the written ministerial statement and the press article today in the Daily Telegraph?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm very sorry that the sequencing that we chose was not to your satisfaction.
Love it. I love it because this is why Hoyle gets so annoyed at her. Because she just said, "Oh, I'm sorry this wasn't to your satisfaction." Basically meaning I've done nothing wrong. I haven't broken any rules. Well, Hoyle is about to put her in her place because, oh boy, he's about to go off on her.
I was...
Order. That is totally not acceptable. No.
And she tries to speak back to him. And unfortunately, I don't know what it is that she said. I don't know what it is that she said because you can't hear it. Unfortunately, it doesn't come across on the microphones. But I wish she knew what she said because he's about to really open a can right now. So off he goes, and oh boy, it is glorious.
Who do you think you're speaking to, Secretary of State? I think we need to understand each other. I am the defender of this House and these benches on both sides. I am not going to be spoken to by a Secretary of State who is absolutely not accepting my ruling. Take it with good grace and accept it that members should hear it first, not a WMS or what you decide. These members have been elected by their constituents and they have the right to hear it first. And it is time this government recognised we're all elected, we're all members of Parliament, and use the correct manners. Secretary of State.
Yeah. Wham, bam, 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 bam. And to be honest, this is something he's right. What he said there in that statement, he said the government should recognise that we are all elected and they should stop, they need to start playing by the rules. Because we have seen by this government, time and time again, them breaking the rules. From, the proroguing of Parliament, to lying to the Queen, to all kinds of stuff that they've tried to pull again and again and again. And Hoyle has been, as we've said, his sort of job is to be the referee of these rules. And yet it's been the Conservatives, more specifically the people on the front bench of the party, who have tried time and time and time again to break these rules. And it's Hoyle who's been standing up consistently with very similar things like this happening. I mean, this is the first time this has happened. This keeps on happening, of people like Kemi Badenoch thinking that they can go to the papers first to say, I'm doing all this stuff. And I've said it now, I think is even more stuff has come out. And Badenoch has criticized people in the ERG. Now, I've said before, there needs to be someone to sort of stand up and take on the ERG. But the thing is, her calling out the ERG in this way, while okay, it's good to see someone taking on the ERG, call them out for how useless they are, that they're all talk and not doers, like she's called them. I think that's a step in a good direction. But the way that she's going about it is not winning her any friends. Not even moderate Conservatives have looked at the performance that she gave on this and said what she did was good. So she has not won any friends. She has certainly not won a friend in the Speaker of the House in the way that she acted. But oh boy, yeah, watch a lot of people probably in the next couple of weeks start to really come after Kemi Badenoch. Like, they are really going to come after her. And I highly suspect, as I've said before, I think there is going to be a refresh in the front benches, in these ministerial positions, because I think Sunak is going to go, well, I'm just having a refresh in my cabinet to bring in some new people. And money is on, odds on money is on that people like Suella Braverman and Kemi Badenoch, shall we say, get removed from the front bench and put on the back bench, or are sidelined to more junior positions. I ultimately think that's what's going to happen. And I think you're going to see Penny Mordaunt probably be raised up as well. I wouldn't be surprised if she becomes certainly business and trade secretary. We know that's a position she's been angling for in the past. So it wouldn't surprise me if she takes Kemi Badenoch's position. Wouldn't surprise me maybe if she took even Suella Braverman's position. Like I say, with her very much ambitions, very much on display to become a future leader of the party and potentially maybe prime minister, depending, of course, when she, takes power, etc. Wouldn't surprise me to see her take either of those positions, to be honest. But we'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. But as I've said, wouldn't surprise me if we see a cabinet reshuffle in the near future. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, I hope you've enjoyed that, because like I say, beautiful to watch sort of a Speaker of the House in action, laying down the rules. And it's something I'm sure Americans would love to have someone in that position to certainly read the riot act out to the Republicans when they break the rules in their house. But of course, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, we'll see you all next time.